This is page 108, using long division. This picks up where we left off on page 107. Read along with me. Using long division, the exact number of visitors per day at the zoo in the Explore activity is the quotient of 98,464 and 362. You can use long division to find this quotient. We're not going to go through this entire step, but we are going to read the example. I'll reread what we read from page 107. A local zoo had a total of 98,464 visitors last year. The zoo was open every day except 3 holidays. On average, how many visitors did the zoo have each day? That means to divide, and so we take our 98,464 and we divide that by 362. And the bulk of this page reviews how to do long division. The step 1, step 2, step 3, it tells you what to do. I'm not going to go through that with you on this video. Instead, what I'm going to do is go through the sample problems at the bottom of the page, the your turns. And on the your turns, I'm going to go nice and slow and show you exactly how I solve these. It will be the same way the book tries to show you. So at the end of this video, you'll have seen me solve a couple problems, and you can read the examples on page 108, and then you should be able to solve some division problems. Your turn. Find each quotient, number 3. I use a whiteboard on these because I take tons of space to do these. It's 34,989 divided by 321. Okay, so 321 is the divisor, so I'm going to ask myself, does it go into 3? It does not. Does it go into 34? It does not. The reason why I ask is if it goes into 3 is some kids want to put a number here, but you can't put a number here and put a little X there. You can't put a number here because if you do, you're saying that 321 goes into 3. It doesn't. 321 doesn't go into 34. Now, you don't have to put X's there, but I put X's there because I can't put a number there. If I do, I'm getting the answer wrong. 321 does go into 349, but only once. 1 times 321 is 321. Now you subtract. 9 minus 1 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down this 8 here. Now this is really important. This is where a lot of kids mess up. Since I brought this 8 down, I have to ask myself, how many times does 321 go into 288? And it does not. So I am allowed to bring down this 9, but first I have to put a 0 here because I just said that 321 does not go into 288. So I have to put a 9 there. Now I can bring down this 9 right here. And now I ask myself, how many times does 321 go into 2,889? And I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect it's a lot. 9 times or 8 times. I think it might be 9 times. So off to the side here, I take my guess. 321. Maybe I'll guess 8 this one time. I'll guess 8 and maybe it'll be 9. We'll see. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. It's not 8, so now I'm going to try 9. And so what I do here is, this is why I have a whiteboard. I make my guesses off to the side, and eventually I'll get the right answer. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. It goes in 9 times. I'll put a 9 right here. 9 times 321, 2,889. So the quotient is the answer written at the top here. It's 109. Okay, let's go ahead and check out number 4. If you're ready to try these, you can try number 4 and resume the video. You can hit pause, try number 4, and then resume the video when you're ready to check your answer. 73,375 divided by 125. This one's going to be pretty easy simply because dividing by things that end in 25, that's a great divisor. That's going to be a little bit easier to make our guesses. Does 125 go into 7? No. 73? No. 733? Yes, but I'm not sure how many times. So if I rounded 125 down, it'd be 100. 100 would go into 733 7 times. But if I round down, I probably wouldn't say 7. It's probably going to be 5 or 6. So I'm going to start with a guess of 5. And if I'm not exactly right, I'll try a guess of 6. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, 625. That might be close enough. I'll show you how to check in just a minute. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with 5 as my answer for now. 5 times 125 is 625. I'm going to show you how to check to see if my answer got close enough. I'm going to subtract here. 13 minus 5 is 8. I borrowed, so this has to become a 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And 7 minus 6 is 1. So my answer here, my remainder here of 108, is smaller than my divisor. If my remainder here was like 126 or something like that, if it was bigger than the divisor, then my guess would have been wrong, and I would have to go back and increase it. But since it's smaller than my divisor, if it's less than 128, then it was the correct guess. So 125 went into 733 5 times with 108 left over. Now I get to bring down this 7. Now I have to make another guess here. How many times does 125 go into 1087? And I'm going to make another guess here, but it's going to be higher, because if I knew, I'm going to use some common sense. I'm constantly thinking about this kind of stuff. If I knew that 125 went into, or times 5 was 625, I have to get significantly higher than that to get up to 1087. So would you try 9 maybe? I'll try 9, see if that's right. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 22. 9 times 2 is, or 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. And 1125 is too high, so it's got to be 8. So I'm going to put an 8 here. And then off to the side over here, I'm going to do 125 times 8. And before I do that, I want to talk to you about how, remember how a while ago I did this one right here? I did this one a while ago, and then I did this one, and now I'm doing times 8. I leave them there for the entire length of the problem, because that information might be helpful later. So when you do 125 times something, leave it there till the end of the problem. Alright, 125 times 8. Now I happen to know what this ends up being. Let's go check it out. 8 times 25, or I'm sorry. 8 times, 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. I get 1,000. So I'm going to put in, I already knew it right there. There's my A right there. 8 times 125 is 1,000. I was just confused a minute ago because I had a number there, but I forgot that I wrote it. So, alright, so I've got 1,087 minus 1,000. That's simple subtraction. It's 87. Bring down this 5. Now, how many times does 125 go into 875? And I'm going to use a little common sense here. I know that 125 times 8 is 1,000. That's too high. 125 times 9, that's too high. 125 times 5, that's too low. So what I haven't tried yet is 7. I'm going to try that one. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. I get 875. That was my guess right off the bat. So the answer is 7. I get 875. So my quotient is 587. Now we are not going to use calculators on these except to check our answers, and that's fine. We can check using a calculator. 73,375 divided by 125 is 587. We got it right. Cool. Let's move on. We are done with page 108. Let's move on to page 109.